The Costa Rican sea turtle is allergic to cabbage. Not as fun as Snapple.
What a loser.
I don't know if there's such thing as a Costa Rican sea turtle. I may know that.
I believed that you really read that.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, everybody. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, dummy.
Hey,
Cheers.
dummy. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Um,
Leave the cap off, you know? What am I
Yeah,
doing?
leave it off. Kevin's having a little kombucha, and those are satisfying caps. I appreciate a really satisfying cap. Spin, tighten, release. It's one of those things in life, I guess. I appreciate that.
We were just talking about Snapple and caps.
Yeah.
So it's the cap.
Uh-huh.
Is that where Factor Cap comes from?
If you want to follow us on
thanks
social
for
media,
listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast.
Factor Cap. Look at you.
Factor
Young
Cap.
and old in one sentence.
Ah.
Well done.
Yeah, that was a dad joke about new things.
New phrases.
New phrases. New
Hey,
fun.
You can't learn something new every day if you don't try.
That's true. Hey, we're back in
Okay.
it.
We're back in the thick of it.
Our kids are back in school from the spring break
Uh-huh.
of it all.
Baseball's back,
Baseball's back.
right?
Haven't watched a pitch.
Well,
Have you?
yes, I did.
Okay.
We'll get into it, but I went home to Washington, Seattle, well north of Seattle, but visit my mom and dad,
3 hours north.
grandparents, yeah, well north. But yeah, I did get to watch some Mariners baseball, which was nice. Just sit there with my dad and watch some Mariners baseball. So yeah,
Sure.
we got a little bit in.
That's great. Good for you. I didn't watch it.
Again, reiterating, I haven't seen a pitch.
Can't emphasize enough.
And won't.
It won't. The kids are back in school. We had a good vacation. We visited my parents.
Uh-huh.
I'll talk about it on the next podcast. But my son, he was swimming again. It was a whole thing. A teaser for a future Dumb Dad moment.
Yeah. Give us the trailer. Give us the trailer for the Dumb Dad moment, which will be revealed next week.
He forgot how to swim, and
Yeah.
now he knows how to swim again. And there's a Dumb Dad moment.
And how?
Sprinkled in there. But, yeah, I guess with it's diving right into the Dumb Dad moment.
Okay.
Which I guess I can do.
We can do that. You want to start there?
No, I want to rant first.
Oh, my gosh. You want to rant?
Yeah.
Buddy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. It's not a big deal, but I've been very busy, with just like, one with like getting the kids back to school and just getting back into the thick of it.
After a week, it is sort of a thing, isn't it? Doesn't it feel like, I sometimes feel like, we're traveling, but we've been doing this thing where we come back a day early. It's not like we fly in and then school the next day. We've done that a couple times. That feels like a mess.
We did the same thing. We drove back on Saturday.
Yeah.
So we could have Sunday.
The buffer helps a little bit.
Uh-huh. 100%.
Anyway.
So Easter was, the Sunday before they went back to school.
Yeah, right the day before.
It was, So we get back to school, and I had partially forgotten that, like in the back of my brain, I was like, oh, I remember this, that the PTA had voted on doing an Easter egg hunt the Friday after they come back. So it was like everyone's been on break. Everybody's been like enjoying themselves, going away, doing whatever. But they wanted to do something. And I guess they just felt that the week prior, for whatever reason, was too early. I would argue that's better than too late.
Considering they thought of it that Saturday.
But here we are.
Here we are. That's right.
So it's just one of those things where like, and I know, everybody's like, aren't you the president of the PTA? I'm not good at this. I'm just all they have. Anyway, so when you get back on Monday, and then it was just like a hustle and bustle, tackling, like or huddling around, maybe being like, so what are we doing for the egg hunt? And I was like, oh, okay. And they are all to their credit.
And this is like the Monday.
Yeah, this is the Monday.
This is Monday.
It's happening Friday. To their credit, they did a lot of the planning. I'm not. They didn't put any ball in my court. They definitely took it and ran with it, but it was definitely like a. Oh, this is the first week back, huh?
Yeah.
Filling 1,700 eggs with candy.
Oh.
It's okay. I only did a handful.
1,700 eggs.
You don't want the kids to get one. You don't want them to go, hey, did you find your
Go
egg?
out there and find your egg.
Nope. Because you know why? One kid's going to pocket a second egg. And then one kid's going to get no eggs. No, you got to put out enough for them to get a bunch. And, the thievish children will get 7. And
this is why this calculation goes on in your brain forever. It's you're thinking, what's the right number? What's the right number? What's the satisfying number? What's the appropriate number? How many eggs are we filling?
Yeah.
How can we make that number smaller?
Yeah. Yeah. And
you buy pre-filled eggs.
I was there yesterday. And again, I will say, to the joking aside about me whining about the PTA, it is wonderful to be able to just float onto campus with, I work there. It's very nice. I just walk in, everybody's like, "Good morning, Kevin." I'm like, "What's up? Can I get the key for this?" And they just let me around the school, and I get to be around, and that's fun. But it was funny because. This is one of those weird small things about the volunteering that you don't know about until you're doing it, which was okay, well, we got this many eggs and we did the math and we're like, all right, we have 1,700 something. So that comes out to we can do about 5 eggs per kid. And then they finished a handful of the moms. I took some, another mom took some. And then the third mom who was helping us, is just the 3 of us. That mom got a gaggle and they did the rest. They did all of them. And I was like, whoa. Oh, sweet. And then they were like, yeah. In the same text, they were like, hey, we finished them all. We went, awesome. But so-and-so had some parents deliver more. It's just bags of more empty eggs. So
you're needless to say, your fingertips are very sore and sensitive. They've been opening thousands of eggs.
That's it. No, it hasn't been that bad. My wife helped me with them. I've been very busy. I honestly haven't had time to do them. But I will be.
Well, you're the president.
I'll be there on Thursday. It's not that kind of president. They're not letting me do story time for the children.
Well played.
But it is just one of those things. I was like, oh, okay, it's back in it, and it's been in the thick of it. In the thick of it.
Yeah, it's funny when I was thinking the phrase that came to mind was, "You hit the ground running," but that's not really what it is. It's you stepped on the carpet and then somebody pulled it out from under you and you fell and hit your hip on the cement and you're rolling around going, "Oh, my hip! I think I'm in trouble. I'm really injured." And then someone's like, "Hey, we gotta fill a bunch of these eggs."
Where is the fake grass?
There's supposed to be 48 bags of. 10-ounce bags of grass. It's green, and we put it in the.
Yeah.
Sorry, are you crying? What's the matter? We're trying to find out where the grass is. Do you have an order number that we can track? Did you fill out the PO sheet, by the way?
That's what it all is.
Oh, my hip! I'm in such pain.
I've been struck by a bus.
Well, welcome back, buddy.
I'm back in it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
I feel you, not because I'm a PTA president, but I know that feeling of when you're when you have an interpretation of going back into something and then you forgot about something or something comes up and you're like, oh, man. It's one of those, that kind of stuff seems to happen when you don't sleep well the night before or something. So it all just feels worse.
Which doesn't help you sleep that night.
Right.
And then it's just a cycle.
And then it just feels like your day just stacks. And then your test all day long, it's not blow up on somebody.
Yeah.
Or your kids, and they're like, "Can I have a thing?" And you're like, "No!" And then immediately you're like, "I'm sorry. That was inappropriate."
It's just funny that all your Full House moments as parents, you know, when the music swells and you take a knee, a lot of them are because you're like, wow, I really blew up in there, huh? Sometimes
Daddy feels as though he's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Which is not your fault. Not your fault. But you know the tea kettle, when it's going nuts? That's what's coming out of my ears when you're asking me for crackers that we don't have. Do you understand?
When you're essentially poking me in the forehead after I just said, my son today, he came into the kitchen, he said, Dad, I want a banana. And I was like, oh, buddy, I'm making you dinner right now. And he went, I didn't say I wanted dinner. I said I wanted a banana. Which is just where I'm at.
It's like good-looking people getting away with a lot of stuff.
That's what kids are.
Because he's cute, and it's like, that's hilarious. That should make me so mad in so many ways.
Yeah.
But that was really funny.
Yeah.
You said it cute. You look cute saying it, and you're way off.
His new phrase.
But you're sort of exact.
His new phrase, and I don't know where he gets it from because it's not a word my wife and I use. Maybe got it from his sister, but I've never really heard her use it, the word. But he'll just like, in a similar situation, he didn't say it today, but in a similar situation where he wants something, but no, we're doing this kind of thing. Like, I want to go home. We're going to the playground. I'm so sorry. Or like, whatever. We're going to take my daughter to dance class, whatever. He just goes, Dad, you're annoying me. And I'm like, I don't know where you learned that.
We ran like 2 errands.
But that's very descriptive. Good job. Because it probably is what I'm doing.
It probably is what I'm doing. And you know what? I'm sorry.
I hear the tone, then I say, well, I'm sorry, buddy. That sounds annoying.
So, okay, I'll give you my dumb dad moment.
Let's hear it.
Here's the thing, man. I'm sort of doing this thing where I think we've talked about this before. Some of those things like that you see yourself in your kids sometimes and some of their behaviors, and you think like, oh, I don't want them to do that.
I know. I got to wash my hands after the bathroom more.
Just
was that not
just gonna take one?
I'll let you finish. You regret shaking my hand when you came in the door.
It's a great joke. It threw me off that much. But like, I didn't know I was like this as a kid. But my mom used to call me Mr. Thrill a Minute.
Okay.
What that means is like, we go to like the zoo or something, spend all afternoon at the zoo and have a great time and be really appreciative that we were at the zoo, and I would love it. And then we'd come home and I'd be like, can we go outside and like want to do like another thing?
Yeah.
And so she used to call me Mr. Thrill a Minute, like, can we just, what now?
Yeah.
Can we just relax for a second? Which I never took offense to as a kid. I didn't really actually even know what that super contextually meant.
Again,
as a kid,
it's sarcasm.
Yeah.
It sounds nice without knowing sarcasm.
It sounds nice. And then after, then I grew up and I realized like, oh man, that's funny. I guess I probably was kind of a lot. Right?
Oh, was I a lot?
Which I could feel, not that I feel like my parents made me feel bad or anything, but then it's like, that's some of that stuff where you're like, oh man, I guess that's probably a lot to deal with. Then you have kids, and it's like this full like circle perspective thing that I often get as a parent now, where it's like, that's my son.
Yep.
Like, can we, like, can I have a snack? Like, yeah. What can I do? He'll ask this question. What can I do while I have my snack? Like, what he really kind of wants to is like watch something. They always want to watch something.
Always.
Which is fair. We always wanted to watch cartoons or whatever, or play a video game maybe or something. But he'll do stuff like that, and I think like, man, Mr. Thrill a Minute. But as soon as I think that, I'm like, oh man, not only is it okay that he wants to do something, not only am I okay that I was like that as a kid, but then it's the perspective of like my mom calling me Mr. Thrill a Minute, which was like, just, you silly boy. And never making it any more than that. But what's weird is like having that perspective now where sometimes I catch myself going like, dude, can we just sit down and eat and like, I can't even finish the sentence before I'm like, bro, you got to calm down. Like, who cares? He wants to do something like, let's just hang out and talk. I'll try to spin it or something. But how he's like that as a kid, I think like, oh, that's crazy, man. There's like some like weird hereditary things about your kids that you probably were like or did that aren't necessarily an easy definition, but some like behavioral stuff that's weird. It's so small that it's weird that it comes out in your kids.
Yeah. No, mine definitely have that. My son plays really close with toys and plays in his own world and is just
physically like playing with toys close to his face.
Really close to his face.
Yeah.
And I always attributed that to my ADD. because
I was gonna say terrible vision.
I'm going to have terrible vision because of the choices that I make. I will need glasses someday.
You're so lucky you've never had glasses, dude.
Yeah.
I put on glasses in 5th grade and wore them for like 25 years.
But you're a comedian now. Look at you. You did it.
Kevin,
I was tall with
I
bad,
love you, man.
I
You
was
can
tall
spit
with
it
bad
all.
posture. So we all find our way.
Yeah.
We all
And here
find
we
our way to
sit.
the mountain.
And here we sit, and I'd rather be nowhere else.
It's funny because my son does that, and I'm like, I think about how I used to read close, and everybody's like, "Do you need glasses?" I mean, I would read. I mean, well, people can't see, but my hands would be like inches from my face.
Sure.
And people would be like, "Do you need glasses? You have trouble reading?" And then I would pull it away, and I really do think it was an ADD thing because I would once I pulled them away, now I can see the whole room. I have a lot of peripheral vision. I'm always watching everything around me. So when you pull
you
like
want
a
to zero
comic
in
book
on your
away or a
story
book
or
away or
something,
whatever I'm looking at, now it's like, oh, great. Now there's a bunch of shows on.
That's such a funny way to put it. Now there's like 9 cameras.
It's like a Back to the Future, too, when he's got like the 9 channels on. Like, that's a nightmare for me.
Fruit, please.
Yeah.
I do. You say I used to do that. We had this like a hallway rug that had a border around it, and I would lay on that rug and play with my Hot Wheels and like race them down like it was a race car track and like down near them and just. I do know what you mean. That does sound very familiar or feel very familiar to me. That you're so in your own storytelling world that's funny. I mean, your son does that a lot. Not in a negative sense. I don't mean that. I just mean like
no, he does
it's so it's fun to watch him do it. You're thinking like, man. As much as we write and create and everything, I still think I'd kill for that imagination right now.
Oh yeah,
to like yes and every idea I have and not turn it down because it won't work or in any way.
Yeah, to him and me, movie theaters make sense. Turn off all of the lights.
Yeah, you're gonna have to hold my focus and let's
big
take away
shiny thing. In fact, I get so distracted. I mean, maybe it was like more of a surreal, cool thing. But I remember seeing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, in theaters, and then the pod racing scene was the first time, probably ever, but definitely the first time I noticed surround sound. It was probably the first time was that movie.
That's probably, I know I'm a little bit older than you, but that's a really good point. I remember it being super effective, meaning
it was a pod,
not technically, but
it was a shot of an empty desert landscape, nothing. You don't see anything, and then behind you hear the and then like blast over the top of the screen, and I was like, "Well, that was nifty." But
How
now all I want to do is turn around.
How am I looking at a flat screen? But that came from behind me. What is happening?
Is that the guy in the booth doing it? The guy operating the projector?
He's got a little microphone up there.
Just going, do. Okay, I'll turn the speakers back on in the front.
Then he holds his hand over the mic to giggle. Look at his friend going, look at them all. Look at them all. Got him.
Yeah, they think this is called surround sound. That's not a thing. That's how we raise price on tickets.
Yeah, that's why it's $18.50 now. That's amazing.
So your dumb dad moment is you've cursed your son?
Cursed my son and he's so painstaking. He's just Mr. Thrill a minute.
What's funny about that though, that story is how, and we had Mr. Chaz on last week, to talk about parenting and understanding your kids. He said so many great things. If you guys haven't listened to the podcast, the last one, finish this one first, but then go back and listen to the last one. It's so good.
We were so fortunate to have him on. There was somebody that we were like, for the longest time, we're like, we really want to talk. We really want to talk to Mr. Chaz.
He said a lot of great things. And I remember a lot of times when I'm talking to somebody like him, I've gone on like lives with other similar, he's like a teacher, but there's other, parent teachers and stuff like that that are just like helping guide you with like gentle parenting and things like that. I'm always like so sheepish when I talk to them because I'm like, I'm probably doing it really wrong. And you're going to find out and you're going to get really mad at me.
Have you seen like 4 of our videos and go,
yeah,
I bet I know what they're like as dads.
Well, at least I have something to stitch.
Just got more content for you.
But one of the things he said was like, because we were talking about, I don't remember the specifics, but we were talking about getting mad at your kid for doing something, anything.
Yeah.
And I made a comment of just like, I know you got to work on that. And he was like, no, you're allowed to have your feelings. And I thought that was really, really nice. Great point. The reason I bring that up is it's funny. You got a heads up to Mr. Thrill a Minute. You understand the context of that. You've lived it, grew out of it. Probably maybe were a little salty that you were called that. Now you are a parent. You understand why you were called that. So you are ready for Mr. Thrill a Minute.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Thrill a Minute came and you still get annoyed.
Yeah.
Which is then now a fourth layer of understanding. I'm just going, there's no preparing for children. They're just sometimes going to bug you.
Well, the only thing I can say to that, and I know you'll understand this being a fellow average student, friend of mine, is that just because somebody gives you the answers to the test doesn't mean you understand how all the problems work.
Right. What do you mean show my work?
It doesn't mean you like, oh, now I get why this answer is the answer. You just know if I write down this, it'll be right. Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll do that then. As long as, what's after this? That's my question. What are we doing after this?
Can I leave now?
What can we do during this to have fun, and what can we do after this to have fun? Because having fun is more fun than being sad.
What can I do with my test? What do you mean?
Please don't do anything other than write your name on it and
my test.
Fill it out.
Huh?
Okay. Now that I've just decimated his personality on the internet, I will give him some major props.
You haven't decimated his
I'm just kidding. That's sarcasm for you. Today was a day of full pride for my son. Because as we've well documented on the podcast, that he's gone through a lot of mouth situations over the last few months. Yeah. Expanders, braces.
Remind me, what is it? What do you call it again when you have them do
mouth exercises?
It's just the worst name. It just makes me laugh.
It's a terrible name. So, it's called myotherapy.
Tongue twisters, molar moves. I mean, like we can just. I'm just saying we can workshop some stuff.
I know. Your brain is like a slot machine right now. You're trying to line up 3 sevens. It's myotherapy, and it's because what they essentially were doing was trying to figure out, is this kid a little bit what's called tongue-tied? Yeah. Whereas like normally you can like open your mouth really, really wide and touch your tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. You couldn't even get close. Or you create like a suction with your tongue to the roof of your mouth and still open your mouth pretty wide. He can do that, but he can barely open his mouth. All of these things that when you're tongue-tied promote like mouth breathing, which can lead to getting sick easier, or like swollen tonsils, which lead to different things, like congestion a lot, like all this stuff. So the only reason we know anything about this kind of stuff is his teeth were like aggressively falling out and aggressively trying to move in and had no space to do so. Yep. So they're like, well, so his teeth don't like hurt all the time and they come in somewhat straight. We got to put an expander in because the roof of his mouth is like a pyramid and it needs to be more like, it needs to be flatter. Yeah. So it's just, we kind of keep going down this road of like, there's like, so this step takes us to this step takes us to this step. And then we have we have mouth exercises. Yep. And
gymnastics,
thank you, which make his tongue stronger, which then after all this work, they go, oh yeah, he's really tongue-tied. It's almost like because his tongue gets stronger, they're like, oh yeah, it's so obvious now. Okay. So what that means is when you lift your tongue up and you see that little tiny little thread, that's what feels like it's keeping it there. Yeah. They're like, we gotta little cut that. Yeah. So that procedure was today. Now, all of this preparation, he knew all this stuff. Right. But man, when you're 8, you're getting prepped to this stuff. Yeah, but it's not right now. Great. Yeah, but it's not right now.
You're getting a shot tomorrow. I don't want a shot. Yeah, but you get it. Okay, fine. On the day, different game.
But sooner or later, this is going to happen. And then today it had to happen. And so he was, of course, apprehensive. Of course, really nervous and really scared. So it was my job today to go, listen, man, like, so we knew we had to do it. We had to go down to Santa Monica to this like medical office to do it. Mm-hmm. And we're on the way down there and he's like, I knew he was nervous. So he's kind of just reading in the car. He's pretty quiet. And we get down there and it was one of those things. This is one of those things, as I was alluding to earlier, where as an adult, you definitely understand, not necessarily from a parenting perspective. Maybe this is like a little bit of an adult perspective, because I remember going to get a shot and I didn't want a shot. And my mom was like, you know what I like to do? I like to just find something in the room and focus on it. Like, that's a cool frame. I wonder who painted it. Mm-hmm. And the more you can focus on who painted it and what colors they use and everything, by the next time they poke you and then you forget it was happening. And then if you distract yourself enough, and it was like her little way of explaining how to get through something scary or something.
Sure.
So part of my job is he was telling me, like, I'm holding his hand down the hallway, like going up to the door. And he's like, I'm pretty scared. And I lean down and I go, here's the thing, man. Sometimes in your life, you got to do things you don't really want to do.
Yeah.
And he knew. This is going to be better for you in the long run. This is going to really help you. I know it's scary.
Yeah.
But I tell you, like, they do this with children all the time. This is their job. They're experts at this. So all we got to do is go in here and do what we came to do. And then we're still going to go home. We're going to see mommy and sister. And we're going to have dinner. And we're still going to read stories. And we're going to go through everything we normally do.
Right.
We just got to go do this one thing.
Yeah.
And he was pretty cool with that.
Yeah.
So I figured that's the best way I can describe it to him. But he went through, man. He went through. They put a numbing agent under his tongue, which they were like, this might not taste great. And the look on his face when he tasted it was like,
it's not great.
No, maybe a dumb dad moment where I was kind of like laughing while telling him it's okay, buddy, because he was like, his face looked like he bit down on like a rotten piece of fruit or something. Just horrible taste. But it's like procedural stuff that kids don't understand. Like topical, then a shot, then the procedure, which you won't feel because your tongue is going to be so numb.
Yeah.
A little bit of my dumb dad when we get there and they're like, you need to fill out the waiver, of course, because I'm the adult saying this is okay.
Yeah.
And then there's like 3 procedures that they do at this office, and they were all written at the top very scientifically.
Okay.
And we kept calling this his tongue tie release. And none of those 3 said tongue tie release.
Okay, so you checked all 3?
That's what I asked the lady. I filled out, this is my name, this is it printed, this is it signed, this is the date. And then I walked up and I go, I'm sorry to bother you. I don't technically know what the procedure is called. Are all 3 of these things that are happening today? Do I just check all these? And she interested. She's like, it's this one. And I was like, thank you very much. And I checked it off and gave it to her. Like, because all these is English. These 3 words.
You guys don't have to call it Latin still. You don't have to.
Because you know what? I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but like maybe a parentheses next to it would be nice.
Parentheses are great. Parentheticals, we love them.
It would help a dummy like me out just to go to feel like I didn't have to go ask the teacher. But he did a great job. And I mean, it really is such a fast thing that they were like, he can't chew on anything crazy, but give him Tylenol if it's sore. There's 1 suture in there. He'll be fine tomorrow.
Sweet.
So I asked him at the end of it, I was like, was the fear of this the biggest thing? Or was the actual procedure the biggest thing? And without even hesitation, he was like, oh, the fear.
Yeah, once it's over, yeah.
Once it's over. And I think like that's a lot of the challenge of parenting is like, how do you minimize that as much as possible when they trust you, but their imagination is allowing them to think of like the scariest thing. It's so scary.
Yeah, they go wild.
And I don't know. I mean, I remember feeling like that as a kid too. I had a hernia when I was a kid. I had to have surgery. I had ear tubes put in my ears. I had to have surgery. And I remember as a kid feeling really scared when it's like you're on the table and then they put the thing over your nose and you're going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's It was terrifying. I don't know that a parent could have...
I would kill for one of those right now. Can you imagine that next to your bed every night?
Just a little hit before you go to bed and boom, you're
pop, like
out. Snoring so hard your nose comes off. But I remember as a kid thinking like, that was terrifying. And I don't know, maybe my parents couldn't have said anything that would make me go,
you can't.
oh yeah,
sometimes
what am I
they
so
just
worried
lose
about?
Sometimes they just have to get through it. That's the most important thing. Sometimes they just have to get through it, and you get through it. That's great.
That's it. He did, and he got through it, and he trusted me to go through it. We didn't have a meltdown and leave or anything, which I was just proud of him for being brave, And
Does he have to do any more or Olympics?
Yes,
some teether totters.
Yes, he does. Oh, that's my favorite one. Teether totters is really good. Even though it's tongue related, I really like teether totters. He still has stuff to go do so it doesn't basically just go back to the way it was before. He's still got to do stuff. What's crazy though, I mean, they really did open your mouth and then they measure how far he can open his mouth. And then they say do the suction thing with your tongue. And then they measure how far his mouth is open while he's doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, and then less than 5 minutes after the procedure, they're like, all right, let's do all that stuff again. And they measured and they were like, yeah, he's, 20% improvement or whatever. And like immediately.
They're just like, all right, do it now. Oh, okay. We got to close that a little better. That's still open.
Yikes. Let's get some wipes in here. It was like immediately, and it's one of those things like I didn't even know this until, and it's like one of those things you don't know you see it until you see it again. They were like, can you open your mouth really, really far and touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth? And it was like, man, your tongue is like pointing straight up in the air. You couldn't do that before. You go to all these appointments and he does all these exercises every night.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, look at wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Props to the doctors, everything they do. They treated him very well. It was great. It went really well.
That's great. You got through another tough thing.
Another tough thing.
On to tomorrow.
He's doing a great job, yeah. On to tomorrow. On to filling more eggs.
Filling more eggs. That will bring me to my dumb dad moment, which is a continuation of 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Potential dumb dad moment come to fruition. So before I get into it, my son just turned 4.
That's right.
Celebrated his 4th birthday. 4 is lava.
That means, you know what? That's right. 4 is lava because it's his favorite show. But it's almost like I forget every time it comes near. That means it's almost our birthday for this podcast.
Yes. I don't have it. Let me see. Hold on.
I think it's the 19th, isn't it?
21st.
First 421.
Well, hold on. It says established 521. Is that wrong? I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Well,
who knows? It's close enough.
Here's the thing. We started recording before my son was born. We started recording. So we've been recording for over 4 years. So happy 4 years.
Happy 4 years. We'll do something more. We'll do something. I don't know what it is.
4 is whiskey. It's always whiskey. So we turned 4. We had a 4 is lava party. We missed you guys. Sorry you couldn't be here. You went to Seattle to watch baseball with your dad, which is, fine.
Great callback.
It's on TV. You could have just called them and watched it anywhere. That's why it's a TV.
I was so bummed we were not here for Floors Lava. You have no idea. We lent you our Floors Lava game because you were like, I think he likes this show. Can we see if he likes the game? And then that was pouring gasoline on the fire for
the game. I'll be honest.
Lack of a better term. Dude, he loves it.
I'll be honest. I can give you the game back because the game is cleverly designed to be these pads so your kids won't jump on the furniture. That ship has sailed.
Had already. If I not remember, you were like, would you mind bringing it over? Because he's
jumping all over the furniture.
He's on the console.
So now you're just jump on these pads. He's not as fun. Not even close. So
flat on the floor? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I'm 4.
So for his birthday, my wife and I had this idea. We're going to do a floor is lava obstacle course on the backyard. Mm-hmm. And it went really great. And we got up really
Dare I say swimmingly?
Swimmingly.
With lava.
Mm-hmm. It was a lovely party.
Oh, there it is.
And
it really heated up after a while.
Yeah. And so we got up really early to do the balloons and all the stuff that we didn't want to do the night before because we wanted to have it all. We wanted to have it on the day of just we bought a machine that you kicked yourself for buying. A balloon blow up machine. Because you thought it had helium in it, and why would it have helium in it? It's the size of it's half the size of a shoebox. There's nowhere for the helium to go. But
I needed to blow up some balloons for my son's birthday, and I bought just an electric air pump.
We bought that. The thing's amazing.
Why did you have me buy? We haven't even used it.
Oh, you should just return it. Well, you weren't in town.
Well, I figured I'd use it again.
No, we're happy to have it. The thing's great. It's great for because then you can buy big things of balloons, and we've bought those. We bought those things where the balloons connect to this strand of plastic, so you can make an arch or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy these kits that are kind of overpriced, or you can kind of just buy,
or just do it yourself,
or do it yourself.
Yeah.
Which is what we started doing.
Yeah.
We made butcher paper, and then we tied that to we have all this ivy vines, and we made a volcano there, and all the balloons were the lava, and then on the and then we wrote 4 is lava on the garage door, and then on the yard itself, the grass. We made this obstacle course, and we bought painter's drop cloths. The thing that was like, oh, this is almost a dumbed down moment was because we'd started so early and the party was so early. We made an early party, started at 10 a.m.
That's a pretty good time for a little kids party, though.
Yeah, but the grass was still like wet, so we waited till like 9:30 to like start putting stuff
Give
out.
it as much breathability as possible before. Yeah.
But then I bought some huge painter's drop cloths, the plastic throwaway ones. Threw those down first, and then I put out like we took one of the kids' mattresses, threw that on the lawn. Took like this little plastic like soft chair that doesn't have any hard parts in it. It's all like it's from Lovesac, so it's all cushion. And we threw that out there. Then we threw out some like
just obstacles to jump
pillars.
on stuff, yeah.
So then I took some crates and I drilled an old shelf into them, so now it's like a bridge that you have to walk across.
Okay.
And so we made all these obstacles. We took an old step stool, and so we laid it out, and then we were kind of like, okay, so let's rearrange this, because then we have our little bouncy house that we have. That's like the finish. That's how you finish the course. You got to get to
the bouncy
castle,
house,
whatever. So you start over here and you get there. So the funniest part is like we're like now racing because like, well, let's get the food out. It's always the 20 minutes leading up to a party that nobody's going to show up on time for is so stressful.
That might be one of the realest things we've ever said on this podcast. The 20 minutes leading up to a party that no one's going to be on time for is so stressful.
Because you're like, there's a knock at 10 a.m. No, there's not. There's definitely not. It's not going to happen.
Yet.
It doesn't matter because it could.
Because it could.
So you're just like, my wife.
People are going to want to use the bathroom.
My wife and I are getting mad at each other, and we're just setting up. It's fun.
Oh, no.
But it's like this is going to be over as soon as somebody walks in the door. We're not going to be bitter at each other. It's just like you're snapping at each other, all that fun stuff.
This is how you work together on The Amazing Race. This is how you'd be on The Amazing Race.
Yes.
Yeah. We're getting work done, but it's not fun at the moment,
but
we're getting
love
it done.
the way you said that. But yes, I am tying them as fast as I can.
The blue bag. We take it everywhere we go, Kevin. I want you to...
So my son comes out, and what's really funny is he comes out, and we're like, hey, buddy. We're like... And he just starts walking over to the thing. We're like, yeah, dude, it's full of lava. And then he doesn't even say anything. He just starts going to work. Like,
oh, yeah.
He doesn't say anything to either of us. He doesn't stop and go, wow.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but in 20 minutes, someone's going to be promptly knocking on the door. We got to test this, okay? Yeah. We're not animals.
Here's what's amazing. So we put out a lot of the extra balloons. So we had a bunch doing the lava, and then we had other balloons that went all in the middle. So like they were all red and orange balloons. So that's the lava. So don't fall out. Don't fall in the lava.
Yeah. You'll burn your whole body into bones.
You'll melt, and you'll be screaming so loud it'll hurt more than anything you've ever experienced in your life till you can't feel your body. So have fun.
You know how it sounds in the next door neighbor that teaches all the kids to swim? That's what it's going to sound like over here.
Yep.
You better not fall.
So
happy birthday.
So he starts climbing on stuff, and he jumps from like a step stool to the like this cushioned chair, the one to the Lovesac one that has no wood or anything, and so you can't get hurt on that thing. And he almost overshoots it a little bit and almost falls out. And then right there in front of him is the crates with the shelf, which are all hardwood. He didn't hit it, and I just went, thank you, buddy. Let me rearrange this.
Little quality assurance there. Appreciate that.
All right, so now I'm going to move this and this and this. And I was like, all right, go through it again. And I'm just like watching him
You're
go
back there taking
it.
notes?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, the distance on that's good. Yeah, if he falls off that, he lands in the lava or on a pillow.
Yeah,
okay, that
you're
works.
Probably less than agile than some of the kids, but more so than others maybe.
Oh, yeah, and we also had our domes. We have this like green, those climbing domes that kids have. We got it for them for Christmas like year and a half ago. That was one that there's two options. You could take a tunnel, which is really risky. You're going to fall in the lava if you could take the tunnel. And
boy, you gotta tell me twice.
Yeah. So, or you can climb the dome, and then you gotta jump off the dome onto a mattress, which is just really fun.
Yeah, dude. Who's taking the tunnel?
One girl who was there, I was like, "You gonna take the tunnel or the dome?" And she just looks in the tunnel. She goes, "No, there's lava in the tunnel." And I looked, and there was like 3 balloons in there.
What am I, stupid?
I was like, "That's fair."
Hey, I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
There's lava in there, huh?
But it was great. I appreciate it. A lot of the parents. So we said it was 10 to noon. It's a quick party. You know, you got to have time limits on your party.
Of course, man.
I mean, people stayed till like 2, and we were happy to have them.
Or until the cops come get you, you know?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. When was the first knock on the door?
It was, I don't know. It was late. It was like 11:45.
No way.
No, it wasn't. No. It wasn't that bad. But it is funny.
Past 10:30?
Huh? No, it was probably like 10:15.
Yeah.
And I think it was family that was like down the street.
Right. Of course you're here. Okay. I mean, welcome.
Yeah. But overall, it was a great party. And it was a lot of fun. We had to say nay on the bathroom situation. Because it was coming down to the wire. And it was like...
This is really what I've been waiting for,
This is the dumb dad moment.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said it 2 weeks ago. This is probably going to be a dumb dad moment. It was either do both of these poorly or do one of them adequately.
Or do one of them really well at last minute because we think people are going to show up in 20 minutes and ignore the bathroom.
The problem we've run into. Now, I'm not mad about that. I mean, like, a little disappointed. we got it painted, got a new vanity put in, although most of that wasn't really done. The painting was done before the party.
Don't talk yourself down, Kevin. You did a good job.
I did a great job. Yeah, I installed a new vanity again.
Yep.
It was funny. My mom,
Kevin's vanity service 555.
This is a small room. This bathroom is a really, really small. It's a half bath. It's just a toilet and a vanity. Mm-hmm. And so we took out the old vanity, and then we're about to paint the room. I uninstall the toilet, just drain it.
Let's get this thing out of here.
Clean it, take it out, and then my mom goes to look to see what we did, and she looks in and she's like, half the room's painted because the other half, the top half's gonna be wallpaper.
Sure.
And my mom looks at it and she's like, why did you take out the toilet? And my wife's like, so we could paint behind it. Because there is nothing more annoying than painting behind a toilet. It's so annoying to me. Because, you can either just, which I've done multiple times, which is just go, I guess we're just not painting there.
I guess we're just going to leave that half-inch circle there.
Yeah.
That I've tried for 45 minutes to get the brush to reach, and I can't do it. So we're just going to...
Yep.
We're just going to not paint that circle.
Yeah. I mean, the proudest I ever got was to put a trash bag over the back tank. Then you can go nuts back there.
Just pour the bucket back there.
Just pour the bucket. No, don't do that.
Because the drop cloth is in the yard.
But this time
that would be stupid.
I was like, this room is so small already. I need all the space I can get and install the toilet. And my mom goes, so why'd you take out the toilet? My wife's like, so you could paint behind there. So it's just easy to paint. And she was like, so he just takes out toilets when he wants, huh? Because
he did it at her house.
Because I did it at her house like a year ago or something. I was like, you got a leak in your toilet. I was like, you need a new wax ring. And I went to the hardware store for him, got a wax ring, came back, took their toilet out, put the new wax ring in. Now my mom's like, so that's like your thing now?
No, Mom. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but my thing is vanities now. Okay, I'm off toilets.
And my thing is never finishing a task before at the time I said I was going to.
My thing is, this is not your thing.
Yep.
This is a bunch of people's things. My wife and I have done this so many times. People are going to come over to your house and you're like, you know what we should do is start that project we've been talking about for 6 months.
Exactly. Horrible.
But it needs to happen actually. Yeah. You know what? It needs to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to have started it yesterday. So tomorrow,
I got
to
get the supplies and figure out what we need.
What is that?
I don't know. It's because you want to show off your space. That's what it is. And you're like, well, the space isn't the best it can be. I could make it so much better. And then you get ahead of yourself. And we certainly did that. I was telling you before the podcast, and this is going to be a dad rant. I'm prepared for it.
Number 2.
Yeah. This is a real dad rant.
Go for it.
The first one wasn't a dad rant. It was PTA rant. Well, no, this could be a mom rant too. You know what it is? This is a hardware store rant.
Just go for it, man. Light it up.
Here's what it is. So I went to the hardware store, and so we get the vanity, we get the faucet for it because it doesn't have a faucet or a drain. So we get the faucet for it. And then I install the vanity, and I open the faucet, and I looked at my wife, who ordered it, and I was like, "Did this come with a drain?" And she's like, "I assumed it would." And I was like, "No, me too. I'm not judging. I would also assume if I get the faucet, I get the matching drain.
This is what you're talking about while you're setting up the lava
Party.
in the yard.
Yeah. This is the party. This is the day of.
Well, I assumed it did come with a drain.
Someone asked for more chips, and I was inside installing the faucet. So I was like, okay, I will. This is when we haven't given up on the project yet.
Yeah.
So the project is the project the next day. No, the project wasn't the next day, but it was.
I think it was 2 days before when you were telling me, like, I think you texted me or you sent me a video. And you're like, well, I'm kind of having a dumb dad moment. I'm 2 days before my son's party. I just removed the toilet. I was like, oh, buddy.
Oh, that. But so I go to Home Depot and I was like, I find a drain stopper. Those things are the best, the ones that you just push on.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I don't think the piping on this is going to make the distance, because I measured it, and I was like just eyeballing it, and I was like, I need an extension, so I got an extension pipe with an accordion.
Sure.
And then I asked the guy there, I was like, what can I have that can match this? The pipe is about this long, so he gets me he's like, over here, these pieces, which are like the washers, and here's the screws. That's all you need. And I was like, love it, man. Thank you. And I come back, and I get it. These hardware stores are overpriced. I get it.
Don't get into a third rant.
But this is part of it.
Okay.
Don't steal. But if you're going to, throw what you stole on the ground. Because
what?
Let me explain. Because a lot of piping and elbows and washers and nuts and all that stuff, they all come in these plastic bags.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the parts, and or whatever.
There's a little UPC on there.
UPC, whatever. So when you get home, you don't notice that it had a tear in it, and it's missing pieces because someone took the washers out.
I know exactly what you mean. I have suffered this exact
and you're just
fate.
Someone needed just a washer, and they ripped this thing open, took what they needed, and then put it back.
And now I
paid full price
for it and took it home, all excited to finish my project.
So now the big corporate hardware store took zero loss. They don't have to put anything on their inventory. They don't have to write in theft. I paid for the thing that was stolen. Their inventory is full.
And I tell you what, I'm not.
I'm not.
Full of pride because I finished my project because I'm missing a washer.
I was so cross. And then I remembered I did the dad thing, which was probably a smart thing, which was when I took the old vanity apart, I set it aside, and I said, you're not going to throw this away till the project is done. Mm-hmm. And then when that happened, I went and I Frankensteined it. And he's just like, what usable parts do you still have?
Yes, exactly.
I'll take them.
That is such a smart dad move, but also why people's garages are just filled with stuff they don't need, because you might need it.
You might need it.
And that's why to this day, I think it's like a, gallon Jiffy peanut butter jar full of screws.
Yeah.
And Allen keys or hex keys that I found somewhere. Why do I have this?
The hex keys.
If I throw this away,
let's get rid of them.
I'm going to pay for it. How about this? How about a hex key that has 3 sizes? 3. Small, medium, large. How about that? And we all just agree something like that is 3 sizes. What are we doing here?
I have 2 things of hex keys. Sets that go into the little
that have
sleeves.
2 of them missing out of it.
Nope. They're both full, yet I still save every hex key I get.
I know.
I have 2 sets.
Exactly.
Of all of them.
Yeah.
And I still
2 full sets, 1 metric, 1
But I know this one goes to the couch. Save it.
I'm sure none of these, the set of 12 I have, will fit there.
So dumb.
Because the couch is Swedish. And
yeah, exactly. I don't know how their hex works. So here's the thing. That's my dumb dad moment. It's going to be a continuous dumb dad moment. Now, I have done work on it since. I've reinstalled the toilet. I finished installing the vanity. I put that on hold. I didn't do that while people were gone.
I peeked in there today. It looks really good. I'll say, I know you're probably whatever, halfway done.
Yeah.
A little less if you do all the wallpaper and everything, but it's going to look great. I know. What I appreciate about how you're doing this is that you are willing to take your time, because I'll tell you what, if you rushed through it, there'd be little mistakes you'd make that you just annoy you to no end for the next 10 years.
Yes. That is our problem, is that we want to do it right, but because of that, it's like, so how long is this dumb dad moment going to go on for?
You want to do it right, which takes time, but then you have kids, and then you have PTA meetings, and then things come up, and then we shoot videos, and then we do podcasts, and blah, blah, blah. And so it all just feels like this is a piece of taffy that is going to stretch forever. I don't know when I'm ever going to finish this bathroom. And it's not sweet.
It's not sweet. It's pretty terrible.
It's just salt taffy.
But I think that's a good place to leave it, and I will keep you all updated.
Please do.
If you have dumb dad, dumb mom, dumb grandparent, dumb whatever, dumb teacher moments, you guys, please let us know about them. We have a new mailbag coming out in the next week or two. You can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com. That's dumbdadpod@gmail.com. Or you can DM us on Instagram. Our handle is @thedumbdads, which is our handle on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. We can watch full episodes of this very podcast.
And let me say this, 2 things. If we would appreciate it so much, honestly we would, if you'd go and rate the podcast,
please,
or review the podcast on iTunes Podcast. It helps us. We got bumped into the top 100 parenting podcast, which felt really good. We want to keep climbing and be an outlet, or just to have people listen to us and feel real and seen with all this stupid.
But let's get to the top 100.
We'll get to the top 100, whatever the number is, man. We just appreciate
top 10. Calling it
1
by the airing of this podcast.
And in the same token, if you do like watching the podcast and watching us interact and talk and all that kind of stuff, you go to the YouTube page and you subscribe. So then, as soon as it drops, you're notified. And when you can go watch it. So do yourself a favor and do that. And we already appreciate everybody liking our stuff and commenting on our stuff on social media.
Thank you. And thanks to @Verdu on SoundCloud for the music for this podcast. And thanks, as always, to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Evan, do you have a joke?
I do have a joke. You ready? Here it goes. Do you know why most baseball games take place at night?
Why most baseball games take place at night?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bats are nocturnal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it kind of like you didn't know that about bats.
A Costa Rican sea turtle.
Costa Rican sea turtle is allergic to cabbage.
Okay, bye.
Don't forget that. Okay, bye.
Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?